This is my bestie Bree. Wade, what are you doing here?
Well, you introduced me over on that other app, but these good people over here haven't met me yet.
This is my other bestie, Wade. He likes to pop in from time to time to talk his mess. So if you've already watched part 1, then you should have completed all of the steps to get to now. And if you haven't, go back and watch part 1, okay? So what I'm gonna do in part 2 is show you how to create consistent images of your character, doing whatever you want your character to do. So if you want your character to do yoga, riding a bike, just outside, looking at the scenery, you can do that and make the character look the very same all the way through. You're also gonna learn how to put a voice to your character. You can go and pick and choose what you want your character to sound like, as well as bring them to life. Okay, we haven't done that yet, so stay tuned and let's go.
This episode was brought to you by Kimberly's Wi-Fi. No excuses.
So what we're gonna do inside of ChatGPT today is have it create content pillars. Now, content pillars are what you're going to create on this channel. Is it gonna be educational? Is it gonna be entertainment? Is it going to be informational? Is it gonna market something? You want to know what type of channel you are creating, and we already did this with the niche. So ChatGPT can list the type of videos that you can create and the pillars they are under. Once you create the content pillars and have an idea of the type of videos that you're gonna create, we're gonna choose one of these topics and have ChatGPT create the script. The script is going to be the anchor for creating the video. Why? Because we're gonna have it storyboarded for us. ChatGPT can storyboard this script so we know exactly what type of images to make so that we can make them move and then put a voice behind it and have a fully completed video. So I want you to make sure that you start off in the same thread that you created the persona, you picked the niche, all of that, okay? We're going to use the prompt, create the content pillars. Very easy, very simple. For the output, it gave me 5 different content pillars. So we have glow up habits and routines, mindset and mental clarity, fitness and movement, nourish and hydrate, reset challenges, and series. So I'm gonna set it up to do a 30-day challenge, but we're gonna start with the intro videos. And you can always go through and tell ChatGPT what you wanna keep and what you don't. So like, let's say you don't want glow up habits and routines. You can tell Chat, I wanna keep pillars 2 through 5. Let's think of something else for number 1. Or if you have an idea, you can say, I want this specific idea for pillar number 1. Now for each of these pillars, it gives you a goal and examples of videos that you can do. So goal number 1 is to show the real girl path to leveling up in body, mind, and lifestyle. Examples of videos that you can do: my 6 a.m. soft girl CEO routine, 5 tiny habits that changed my energy, night reset to get my life together. And then it even gives you ways that you can monetize it. So you can do Notion templates, glow up trackers, affiliate links for products used. Now, that may just be in my thread because of the way that I respond to ChatGPT. So if you want something like this where it gives you monetization ideas and it doesn't give it to you the first time around, you can always ask. So now that we have the pillars, the next prompt is, I want to build out a content calendar with 3 to 5 video ideas per pillar, including hooks, formats, and CTAs. Line up a full month of glow up content for the Wellness Baddie channel. So based off of the first pillar that we had, the glow up habits and routines, it created the 5 ideas for the video and gave me the hook, format, and CTA. So the first one is my 6 a.m. soft girl CEO routine. The hook is, I don't hustle at 6 a.m., I align. The format is a morning vlog plus a voiceover. The CTA says drop a sun if you're building a morning routine too. Now, morning vlog voiceover. You definitely can do that with it being faceless. Yes, you would have to get a little creative, but it's very possible. And honestly, it's something that I've never seen before. So that definitely might be a good idea to test out and try to see how it performs on YouTube. So going back and forth with ChatGPT, I decided that I was going to do an intro video first. If we're going to do a 30-day challenge, we have to intro what we're doing and why we're doing it. So this is the beginning of it creating the script. It came up with the piece for the hook as well as breaking the script down. But of course, go through, read it, make sure it aligns with your persona for this page, as well as it reads exactly how you want it to sound. So I did a lot of going back and forth with it. I also had it create a visual storyboard. So the prompt says, let's do a visual storyboard, then the voiceover ready script. So I did a lot of back and forth with ChatGPT until it gave me the script that I was looking for. I gave it a lot of suggestions. I gave it hook ideas. I gave it things that I wanted to show up inside of the script. So this is the final script that we came up with. I had it break it down to where I can just copy and paste this directly into ElevenLabs. So now it's time to show you how to create consistent images inside of Sora. the image that you created for your persona, we are going to go ahead and go back to that one, okay? Go find it. Make sure you hit the favorite button so you don't have to search for it all the time. Once you have that pulled up, you're gonna go ahead and click the remix button. This button is what's going to generate the consistent characters. So click remix and then think about what you want your character to do. You can get very descriptive about it, or you can just put the word yoga. If you want to get descriptive about yoga, you can put doing the downward dog pose on the beach on a purple yoga mat with the sun in the background and waves. You get the point, right? You can be as descriptive as you want to be, or you can just put yoga. So here are the original images that we created in part 1. So what we're going to do is take one of these images and remix it. Now there's a difference between edit prompt and remix. Edit remix will allow you to take that same prompt from the original picture and add or delete from it. Remix is going to allow you to remix the image that you are currently on. You can highlight what you want to remix, or you can just type in here what you want to change. Using the remix button will help you keep the character consistency. Edit remix is going to more than likely create something entirely different. So we're going to click remix on this image. We're going to put doing yoga on the beach. We're going to put stretching on purple yoga mat, sunny weather. And then we want to make sure we look at the aspect ratio, because if you're creating for YouTube, you want to make sure it's either in the 2x3 or the 3x2. The 3x2 will be used for the long form video, so the regular 16:9, and the 2x3 is if you're using it for shorts. So the regular 9:16. And we're going to click remix. So here are the images that we just created. Now you want to make sure the style of the image stays the same. Now we're also going to go back to our thread on ChatGPT. You can ask the thread to create a visual storyboard. So if you have the script, it's going to give you visual aspects of pieces of that script. So for the beginning of the script that we created, it says, I don't know where you're at right now. Maybe you're trying to hold it all together, or maybe you've already let it fall apart. Either way, I see you and I made this for you. The visual prompt, it says, a soft early morning scene. A faceless Black woman sits alone at the edge of her bed, wrapped in a cozy blanket. Light peeks through the curtain. Her posture says tired, but still showing up. It gave us a mood and gave us symbolism. So we can take this part right here. We're going to delete the faceless part because we already have the character. We're going to copy this and come right back into Sora. And again, depending on the character that you're using, if you're using an animated version or if you're using a realistic version, that's where you're going to paste and remix the different prompts. This is why I say make sure you pay attention to the prompts, because this one that we use, I didn't delete faceless out of it. It still says a faceless Black woman. So that's why it has no face. But if you want to be technical, it still got the consistency of the image, just no face. So if you wanted to fix something like this, like let's say you did the remix wrong, you can come back in here and delete faceless and click remix again. And make sure you pay attention to the aspect ratio every time you create, because you don't want to have different aspect ratios. Now we're going to create an image for a forward-facing character. That way, anytime you want it to talk and speak to the camera, you'll have that specific image that you can reference and you can create different versions out of. Because an image like this, we won't be able to have it talk and actively move its mouth and open its eyes because it'll look weird. So we want to actually create an image that is forward facing, eyes open, and mouth is, not slanted to the side so it can actually talk. So the specific prompt came from ChatGPT. You definitely can copy this and make it your own, or you can ask ChatGPT to create a prompt for a character facing forward. So we're going to click remix. So for each and every prompt that it came up with for the visual storyboard, you want to copy and paste into Sora, create all of the images. Once you have the images that you want, again, make sure you favorite them so you don't have to go searching for them. You also want to download them to your computer. When you download them, make sure you number them. So this specific one, ChatGPT has labeled as scene 0. So you can name that image 0. The next one, scene 1, you can name that image 1. And that way, when you're putting it together inside of CapCut, you know exactly what goes where. Here is the forward-facing one. As you can see, it's literally like a repeat of the one that I originally created. We also added the headband inside of the prompt. So make the prompts how you want them, because how you create the prompt is how the image is going to come up. So let's take this one. We're going to download it to the computer. And now we are ready to make this image talk and move. Now, ElevenLabs is one of my favorite tools. You can literally do anything on here. Like when I say anything, almost anything. So if you have a full project, you can use the project section. If you just want to use the text to voice, there are so many different voices to choose from. You can create your own, or you can visit the library. The library shows you different pitches, different languages, different personas. You can literally find anything. You can also upload videos that you already have and translate them to another language. So what we're gonna do with ElevenLabs is the script that we created with ChatGPT, we're going to copy and paste it directly into ElevenLabs. So this is ElevenLabs. If you create a free account, you'll automatically get 10,000 credits. If you decide to go with a paid account, they have different levels for that and you can access different features. The paid account still allows you to use text to speech. So this is where you're going to paste your script and it's going to generate based on the voice you have selected. The voice is what's going to bring your character to life. So you want to make sure the voice matches the persona, but it's entirely up to you. So if you want a squeaky voice, if you want a very deep voice, do what you want, okay? So the way that you choose the voice is going over here to the voice section. There are legacy and default voice settings that you can use for free, but then there's also community voices that you can grab from a library. I believe in the free version, you only have 3 slots, if I'm not mistaken, but that's how many voices you can choose from the actual library. So let's go over to the library. Now, this is where you can look at all of the different types of voice. They have narrative and story, conversational, characters and animation, social media, entertainment and TV, advertisement, informative, and educational. You can check by category, you can check by trending, you can filter it by going over here and choosing a language, or you can choose the gender, the category, age. If you decide to leave it on all and scroll down, you can hover over the little profiles and it's going to play the voice that you are hovering over. Also, each of these voices have tags. So if you don't want to go through and click each and every one of them, you can look at the tags and see what they say. So how these say English, you know that they speak English, or Italian, French. You can also look at how many people are using these voices. So if you want something like a diamond in the rough and no one's really using it, this one has 746 people. That's Portuguese. So if if your character doesn't speak Portuguese, then you may have to look for something else. So once you find one that you like, you can go ahead and click add and then use, and it's going to take you back to the text to speech. So this is where you're going to paste your script. You don't have to paste the full script in here right away. I actually suggest that you don't, only because you want to make sure that it aligns with what your script is saying. And you want to be able to play with the sliders over here to get the voice right. Sometimes the way the voice sounds in the library doesn't really translate when you put your own script in. So be mindful of that because you don't want to use all 10,000 of your credits and you don't have your script. So let's go ahead and go back to ChatGPT and we're going to take the beginning of the script and we're going to click copy, go back and paste. Now, another thing that you want to pay attention to is the punctuation. The punctuation is very key. Capitalization is very key. All of that is important because it definitely plays a part in the way that the voice sounds. So to give you an example, I'm going to leave it just as it is right now. Again, we have Alexandra. We're going to click generate speech.
I don't know where you're at right now. Maybe you're trying to hold it all together. Or maybe you've already let it fall apart. Either way, I see you. And I made this for you.
Cool. Not too bad. But for what that script is talking about, it feels like this voice is a little bit too upbeat, right? Just for the sake of this video, we're going to keep this voice, but we're going to go over here and play with the different levels. So there's speed, stability, similarity, style exaggerations. The sliders that I always pay attention to are speed and style exaggeration. So we're going to slide this style exaggeration up a little bit. Now with style exaggeration, it to me makes it sound a little bit more human. There's different tones, different inflections in the voice, instead of it being flat out how that voice is when you first put it inside of this. Speed, that's also a thing because sometimes it's reading it too fast, when in actuality, the script causes for it to be read a little bit slower. So we're going to slow this down just a little bit and then we're going to regenerate. Now pay attention to this as well, because as long as you're not changing anything over here, you'll get 2 other free generations. So if you're just using the sliders, you can generate again and it's not going to cost you any credits.
I don't know where you're at right now. Maybe you're trying to hold it all together. Or maybe you've already let it fall apart. Either way, I see you. And I made this for you.
Now, there's another way that you can do this. You can go into Studio and you can start from scratch and you can paste the full script inside of here. This will make it easier so you don't have to paste in piece by piece. Even in the text to speech, you don't have to paste piece by piece. But again, just start off with a little bit so you can get in there how you want the voice to sound and then paste the whole thing. Or you can just paste the whole thing in here as well. So we'll try one more voice and I'm going to generate that.
I don't know where you're at right now. Maybe you're trying to hold it all together. Or maybe you've already let it fall apart. Either way, I see you and I made this for you.
So this voice matches this tone of the script a lot better than the upbeat version. So keep that in mind when you're choosing a voice. You want to make sure it aligns with the persona, the niche, and what you're trying to convey, the feelings that you're trying to convey on that channel, okay? So once you have the tone and the voice that you're going to use for the whole script, you can paste the whole script inside, or you can still do it piece by piece. Once you have that, you're going to come down here and click the download button, and that way you can take everything and put it together into CapCut. And if you haven't signed up for ElevenLabs just yet, you can go ahead and check my description. There's a link there. You'll get a couple of free credits, okay? Maybe, I don't know. So those images that we created inside of Sora, we're going to head over to Kling to make them come to life and to make them talk. You can do both on there. Kling is also a free website, but I recommend getting the paid version because the way the character is created and generated is so much more fluid. It moves like an actual animation, right? So look into the paid version. You can even start with the very first plan. There are so many tools like Kling, so you don't have to stick with that one. You can go and Google some other tools and test what works for you. See what works the best and go from there. So let me show you how to use Kling. This is KlingAI.com, and this is how we're going to get your character to move. So you're going to start off by going to video, and we're going to use the image to video. You can do this on a free account. As you can see, I have credits up here because I use this a lot for different things, but you can still use a free account, okay? Image to video is where we're going to start. We're going to take our character that we just created. You're going to do this for each image that you have. You're going to give it some type of movement, or you can use your image as is. It's completely up to you because there are different styles of editing for YouTube videos. There are some that just use images and have text or captions over it. There are some that uses images like this, the way that we're about to create. You can do a mixture of things. This is where you want to use your creativity. Now, with the image that we just created inside of Sora, you're going to add it to the start section. This down here is the prompt box. The prompt box is going to give it instructions so it knows exactly what this image is supposed to do. So for this specific image, we're going to have her do something simple like wave, and we can have her move her mouth as if she's talking as well. So we're going to put character is waving at the viewer, and then we're going to say sweetly blinking. Now the prompts with Kling, you can have ChatGPT create those as well because Kling is a little bit difficult when it comes to prompting for it. You can be very simple with the way that you explain things to Kling, but you also can be very detailed with camera angles and movements. But I would suggest if you're a beginner to have ChatGPT do it and then paste it into the prompt, especially if you're using the free account so you're not wasting credits. If I generate this, it's going to be 35 credits. That's because I have it on professional. It's on 5 seconds. And it's on one output, but this can be changed to standard, which brings it down to 20 credits. There's also different versions of Kling. So 1.5 is the lowest I suggest that you go, but as you can see, it's still 20. So you might as well use the 1.6 at the very least. So we're gonna go ahead and click generate, and the estimated waiting time is 1 minute. It may be a little bit slower if you are on the free account, but I mean, that is the cost of using some free tools. There are other tools out there that are image to video, such as Hailu. You can use something like that. Test out different tools, see what works best for you. But Kling is pretty good as well. Okay, so this is what it generated. Easily waving her hand. Mouth is moving a little bit. I forgot to type in that she was talking, but still works because now if you want to lip sync it, you can click lip sync. So with their lip sync, you can use their text to speech as well. They have their own voices. I wouldn't say that they're as good as ElevenLabs, but if you want to use Kling instead of ElevenLabs, you can do that as well. Upload local dubbing. This is where we're going to drop the ElevenLabs voice that we downloaded. Now it says the selected video for lip sync is only 5 seconds. Please crop the audio to 5 seconds or less. We're going to confirm and we're going to click generate. Now this says it's going to take 8 minutes. That is a long time. You don't have to go through and lip sync every animation. Some things can look just as if it was B-roll, where let's say if she's doing yoga, you don't have to lip sync that. That can just have the voiceover over that B-roll. So when you're putting everything together inside of CapCut, make those judgment calls. Like, does this need a lip sync, or is it just a voiceover, or is it just going to be text? If you want to see the example of the video that I created, I'll link it below in the description so that way you can watch it, get an idea of the way that you can create yours. Or go and search on YouTube, watch other versions of Faceless type of videos, just so you have an idea of the direction you want to go when it comes to putting everything together.
I don't know where you're at right now. Maybe you're trying to hold it all together.
So CapCut is what we're going to use to put everything together, because we have to, add the sounds, we have to trim some of the videos, we have to add music, whatever you want to do, we're going to do it inside of CapCut.
So CapCut might be the easiest part of this whole tutorial, so I'm not going to go that deep into it because it's kind of self-explanatory. But everything that you have downloaded, you're going to upload directly into CapCut. You're going to import it. So you can click this little box, and let's say we want this. We're going to add it to the import, and then you'll click the plus button to add it to the track. So there is the plus button. So now it is on the tracks.
I don't know where you're at right now.
Perfect. So there are different things that you can do on CapCut. Same thing with the audio. Let's say you want to import the audio. You'll double click, you'll click add to track, and it'll be on a different track. Those are two different things, right? If you want to make this shorter, you'll take this, drag it down, or you can always hit something like the split button, and that separates it wherever this little playhead is at. There's also audio on CapCut, so you can use sound effects or music. There's text, so if you want to use text effects or text templates, you can do that. And it'll show you examples once you click on them. Now, everything that has these little purple diamonds on it, those are a part of the Pro subscription. I believe they have two different prices. So if you want to access it on your computer, your phone, and on the website, it's $20 a month. If you want to just access it on your phone, it's $9.99 a month. Now, once you have everything put together on your track, you're going to go to export. But once you export it, you'll download it as an MP4, and then that's when you can upload it to YouTube.
And voila, you have officially made your first Faceless YouTube video. It wasn't so hard, was it? Now, it may seem hard because it was the first time around, but it will become easier the more that you do it. Don't give up. Don't feel like, oh, this is too much work, because it's not. It's not, okay? I hope you enjoyed that part too, and don't waste no time doing it, okay? Again, we're creating smarter, not harder, to make it a little bit easier so you can do it faster. No more excuses, okay? Now, some of the tools that I mentioned is down in the description, so make sure you check it out. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. Wade, you have anything else to say?
I'm a little pissed that you didn't use my talents in this video, but I'll be back. Great job, Casey. Over and out.
Thank you, Wade. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later, okay? Okay, bye.